Hey everybody, it is Jeff Hill at eTekhnos again with Jim, and we want to do a second video. This is the one that's just about using the census templates for uploading the plan selection. So one of the questions we get all the time is just remembering when you use the benefit selection templates. So if we're adding and implementing an enrollment, a group on Employee Navigator, and it's not open enrollment in the next week or so or something like that, then people often select to upload all the employees' current plan selection so they can use the system for seeing their benefits, and also for when open enrollment does come, then they can see their current elections to help them choose the other ones. So what's important about that is, in order to use these templates, kind of like all of the census templates, a lot of the plans and work is already done. So all the plans have to be preloaded. That's why if you see this template on your screen, there will always be a plan name on there, and it has to be the same. So part of us building a plan is coming up on the workbook. It mentions what is the plan name. That's for us to use throughout the system and for referring to when you upload a template. So super important to recognize that if you are uploading employee selections, it's for their current year, not their upcoming year. It is their plan year. So you'll see on these there's the employee effective date. So if they're putting in the system right now in October, but it's for the January 1 of 2015, then that's what that date is, and it's for this plan, not what will be changing in open enrollment in a couple months. Those are something kind of jams people up on questions on this. Jim, do you have anything else you want to tell them about this?
I do. This is a template for the medical, dental, and vision pages. Now, I would suggest that you submit a medical plan enrollment and a separate dental plan enrollment and a separate vision plan enrollment. Just because if there's any data that gets skipped or misread by the system, we can pinpoint which plan that it's relating to. Now again, same as on the employee census, if you're enrolling dependents into these plans, you do need to have the employee social security number listed in every column under the column A. You obviously can have a blank on the dependent relationship if it's the employee only, but underneath, if you're enrolling the wife, you do need the employee social security number and the dependent social security number and the relationship if we want to attach them to the plans. So you need the column A to be filled in as well.
There you go.
Nope, you need column A to be filled in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. I already messed up. The same thing. That is exactly right.
So the plan date, as Jeff mentioned, will be the plan name that you inputted into your worksheet. And the plan effective date is either the start of the year where the plan started, or if an employee started midway through the year, it will be the date of the midway through the year.
Do they need to put in plan name and effective date for dependents?
They have to put in the plan name of every person that is enrolling, including all dependents.
There you go. So that might give you an idea what it might look like for an employee. Again, this is the template. It says basic because it's used for medical, dental, and vision. We may send it to you all separated out, but one to kind of, if you ever saw one that's just called basic, or if you ever have a template from before we send them out broken up, you know what that means. So other things that people ask about, there's a plan template for a lot of different plans. Most of them are very self-explanatory. So here's an example of the group life, AD&D, that, right, Jim, it's basically the same thing except for this column right here, correct?
It is. I mean, it doesn't have the employees on here because it's classed as a group life, which means it would only be for employees only.
Yep.
If you can put in the benefit amount. If you do not put in a benefit amount, it will default to the default benefit amount entered into the system.
Yep.
As you could just saw, Jeff put in 50,000 with no commas and dots or dollar amounts, and the system will recognize that's an amount, and it will add all that information in for you.
So, and sometimes people don't say it, but yeah, you can right click or actually just hover over these, and sometimes it'll give you reminders of if left blank, it will be assigned to what we built the system as.
It does. A little bit of note about this one. If you are putting in amounts over your EOI amount, this will override your EOI amount. It's given that because you are entering in the information that you are authorizing that amount to be over EOI.
You know what you're doing.
Yes.
All right. So look at this one, it's a little bit different. We want to point this out. Vol Life has a little bit differences based on the different census. What's the big difference on this one, Jim?
The big difference here is that you can enroll your spouse and your children into the same plan. Now, whereas before you had a row for each person, this is the same row for all the people in that one family. So you wouldn't have row 2 or row 3 having the spouse information. All the spouse and child information would be on the same row as the employee.
So this one will be a little bit cleaner. There won't be any blank spaces. It'll be all put into one
If
line.
there is a blank space, the system will assume that you declined that benefit. So if there is no spouse benefit on row 2 with Joe Smith, the system will assume that spouse benefit was declined and he only wanted child benefit.
Very good. And then I think the last one we want to look at real quickly was the some notes you had about the group disabilities.
So group disability, there's a group disability census and there's a voluntary group disability census. Now, while you can upload group disability in the same census, like all your STD plans and all your LTD plans, you really shouldn't and can't mix the voluntary and company paid plans in the same template.
Great. All right. Well, that's all we wanted to do on this video is give everybody a little high-level view of using these, and hopefully it helps answer some questions right out the gate. Again, if you have any questions, email or call eTekhnos. eNavigator@eTekhnos.com. Thanks, guys. Bye.